It's been more than 3 years since Hypixel overtook Mineplex in popularity, and that's great and all, but it sparked one major issue across the Minecraft server universe. In this video, I present you guys with my take on Hypixel needing competition. And as usual, I mean no hate to Hypixel, don't worry about it, I love their server. They like me, I think, I don't know. This is purely for entertainment purposes, and so you guys can hear my thoughts on how competition and competing servers can definitely benefit Hypixel in the future, along with us. Alright, let me put it in the easiest way to understand possible so I can get the obvious factors out of the way. Think about it like this. This circle is Hypixel. This circle is another Minecraft server. If Circle 2 eventually gets, bigger than Circle 1, that means Circle 1 is gonna try harder to become bigger than Circle 2. So hypothetically speaking, I can summarize this video in 10 seconds by saying competition will make Hypixel work harder on their server. Whoa. Now, none of this really matters if you think about it in a different perspective, which is like, okay, yeah, Hypixel probably has a lot going behind the scenes, which is definitely true. Like, didn't they get DDoSed at one point? But I'm thinking it as a perspective of, a player. Or I'm not a dev or anything, so I don't really know what goes on. So if any Hypixel staff is watching this, don't be offended. This video is just for entertainment purposes, and I thought it would be really fun to make. And so far, it is very fun to make. Okay, so as I was just talking about, Hypixel did go on maintenance for a few days at one point, which I did talk about in a previous video, but that is an important thing I should bring up for this video because, well, if there's no #1 Minecraft server to play on, people are gonna have to find alternatives, which caused a lot of other servers to go on maintenance. Not because they got DDoSed, well, maybe some of them got DDoSed, I'm not too sure, but a lot of them couldn't handle the amount of players they were receiving. Now, the mass increase in players at this time could be due to like 3 obvious reasons. #1, because everyone's favorite Minecraft server is gone, and they just have to find a substitute to make themselves feel better. 2, Hypixel's been holding the other servers back by being the #1, which kind of coincides with 1, but let's pretend that they're different things. And 3, every single person who played on those servers randomly got very, very bored at Hypixel at the exact same time that it went down, so they all decided to go play on those servers. I'm gonna guess it's option 1 or 2. Now, in all seriousness though, like, imagine if Hypixel wasn't here. That could actually be a real big downfall for Minecraft in general, because Hypixel is the biggest server, so if it wasn't here to be the #1, there'd probably be a lot of people who aren't playing Minecraft. Now, Hypixel does consistently update their server, but the community gets pretty angry with them because of some games that they don't update, and that's pretty understandable. But Hypixel, Skyblock, and Bedwars got them the most of their players. Now, the way I see it is that if there was a secondary server that was coming up on Hypixel, which I've seen many people talk about on things like Twitter and Hypixel forums, that would push Hypixel to work even harder than they already are, because, you can't be working at the same rate if it's clearly keeping you under the #1 spot. Now, they could not care about being #1, but I feel like being the #1 server is a big motivator on its own, so yeah. Now, I don't really have any guesses as to what the #1 Minecraft server could be in the future, but in all honesty, it really doesn't look too good for any other server right now. The most I see other servers pull at max is like 3,000 players, which is still a lot of people, but when Hypixel's over here getting 200,000 at peak, it's a very tough competition. Now that I've basically explained the whole point of this video, I think a good thing to go off now is show you guys some other alternative servers than Hypixel. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh, but Hypixel has everything I want. But trust me, there may be some things you're interested in, and feel free to skip ahead if there's nothing you want to hear. It's just that I did notice one very interesting factor. After Hypixel came back from maintenance, the player count dropped significantly, and there's still a lot of players, like a crap ton of players, don't get me wrong, but that could mean people are trying new things. And if you are interested in new things, because maybe you want to break from Hypixel, which is completely understandable, this is the part for you. Okay, now it's time for 3 Minecraft server reviews in under 1 minute each. Let's go. First up, BedwarsHub.net. A server for you to practice, your Bedwars skills. They have different modes you can queue, like attack and defense, sumo, pro sumo, Hypixel bed fight, pearl fight, top, bridge fight. Okay, I'm gonna stop saying these because I only have limited time. It's overall a very, very fun server to play on, and it was very popular when Hypixel was on maintenance, so I'd recommend trying it out. There's different servers like NA and EU, and this server even offers leaderboards you can grind to, and since it's not like an 100,000 player server, you can easily get to them. Well, not easily, but a lot more easily than, getting to Menhall IQ spot. Occasionally I have found that I do get a lot worse ping on this server, but that's just because of where I live, so hopefully you guys can actually get better ping on here than you do on Hypixel. Next up is one of my personal favorites, BedwarsPracticeClub.net. Actually, wait, I don't think that's the IP. The IP is actually BedwarsPractice.club. Yeah, very fancy IP. There's none of that .net or .com thing. They're original. There's 4 NPCs when you log in called Bridging Practice, Technique Practice, Multiplayer Practice, and Bedwars mode. They're all pretty self-explanatory, but you've probably seen YouTubers like Purpled and Specular Potato play on here. bridging practices for bridging, technique practices for technique, multiplayer, you get it. One of my favorite things to play on here is block sumo, where you basically got 8 people and you guys gotta do sumo, except you all have 5 lives and there's different items that give you abilities. Now the last one I'm gonna talk about is Club. Okay, the Bed Wars practice one isn't very original now that I think about it. Now you all have probably heard of this one before, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because a core game mode I play on my channel these days is Bridge, and they offer a very good Bridge mode. It's very fun to play, and overall I actually prefer it over the Hypixel Bridge just because of how much less laggy and more enjoyable it is. And of course, if you enjoy pop PvP and stuff, there's all that too, but I'm not really one of those channels who talk about no debuff and all that, so that's there if you want. I don't really know how else to put it, but this is primarily a dual server. It's very similar to servers like Lunar and Velt PvP if you've heard of them, but overall I think it's my favorite ping-wise and, playability. And oh, what's that? Is that a timer? Oh, that's a wrap, guys! We did it! Every server in 1 minute. I'm so cool. Now I think I should end off this video with a bit of a theory. Now I've seen Hypixel's growth, right? And I was like, wait a minute. There's people who have more followers than Hypixel does players. And you want to know who that person is? So basically, I feel like, a good possibility is that, maybe in the future, Dream or MrBeast or someone, a very large group of large creators could make a server and get Hypixel dethroned. I doubt they'll do it, but if they ever do that, that's probably going to be the fastest way Hypixel loses all its players, which is pretty sad, but it's a sad truth. I don't know if I'd play on it, but it all depends on what version it is and if they optimize it for, Hypixel's player base. But it all, it might not even be to steal Hypixel's players. Maybe they just want to make it for fun and it won't even appeal to any of Hypixel's players. Who knows, man? Alright, so I think I'm ending here because I really don't want to stretch this video farther than it needs to be, but I hope I informed you guys on my point of view, and maybe you see Hypixel being the #1 server differently after this. I heard that a new server called Pyrelic's coming up to help you out with your PvP, and I'm really excited to see that, and when it does come, we'll see how that server performs. As you may have noticed, I put a lot more effort into this video, so if you did make it this far, please consider liking the video or even subscribing. I am sorry for messing up my words, it is 12 AM and I am tired. But even leaving a comment just on its own really helps to motivate me, and you guys can explain what I can improve on. In the description are some of the people that inspired me to make this video, or I guess editing style. But obviously one of the main people who have been blowing up recently, who has been doing very highly edited videos, is Jonah Ryan, so I thank them for inspiring me as well. But without further ado, this is the budget TimeDeo out, and have a great day.